Hey guys, this is Frenzy, bringing you a game from Intel Extreme Masters Tournament in New York between Dongray spawning as the blue Zerg in the bottom right position, and Strelok spawning as the red Terran in the bottom left position. Going to be a Zerg versus Terran on Shakuris Plateau. I would definitely have to give the favorite to Dongray in this matchup, but Strelok really thinks he's going to take this tournament. I heard he has a couple bets going with some people, and really feels confident. Not one of the strongest tournaments, considering MLG is going on this weekend as well. So a lot of the top players are playing in that, but we do have probably the top two in this tournament. I guess there are quite a few others in the other groups, but in this group, these two players will probably take their groups. I'd have to say Dongray is probably going to take first. So we'll have to see. So we do have the 15 hatchery coming down from Dongray. We see gas and barracks coming up for Strelok. Standard openings so far for both players. Probably going to transition to some sort of Hellion, although Reapers on this map are actually extremely effective. So we could see a fast Reaper expand. Wouldn't be too surprised, and it looks like, yeah, that is what we're going to be seeing. So he will be going for a Reaper. Going to be able to just jump down this cliff, jump right into the main, and get here before any queens are out for Dongray, and it can do a lot of early damage, and just keep Zerg in their base while you get up your expansion. We'll probably see one Reaper coming out, and then as soon as he gets up to 400 minerals, we'll probably see that command center coming down. As we can see, he already pulled guys off gas, just wanted enough to get this Reaper out. You can also use this SCV to build a bunker, and sometimes even get the hatchery kill, but usually not. Usually it's just that little extra pressure. Kill off maybe a drone or two, and just be able to get that expansion up really easy. We see the SCV coming out. We'll be planning down that expansion right here so it can float over as quickly as possible. And here comes this Reaper, going to come right across this back ledge. We'll have to see how Dongray actually deals with this. We see two drones just kind of hanging out here, making sure there's no bunker going to be going down. And I don't really think that there will be, but it's possible. But it's generally not what you're trying to do with this. It's just mainly to get up your expansion as quickly as possible. This is much quicker than a Hellion build, and you'll actually be able to take your natural pretty quickly if you can keep this Reaper alive. So now that the queens are out, he's not going to be able to do pretty much any damage whatsoever. Just going to stay here and make sure no Zerglings get over into his base while he's taking this expansion. As we can see, there's no defense here for Strelok at the moment, but with that Reaper, he knows that he's going to have complete map control until Zergling speed comes out. We actually see two command centers going up for Strelok, so he's getting extremely greedy with this Reaper expand, and that could actually be pretty big if Dongray doesn't do any early pressure. And it looks like he won't. Usually you would be getting roaches if you're trying to do any early pressure against a Reaper expand, just because Reapers are so good at denying Zerglings. And then it looks like we're going to go either into siege tanks or blue flame Hellions. We'll have to see. There is the Roach Warren coming up, but it's at a later stage. It doesn't look like an aggressive time to Roach Warren, as he can have enough units by the time this finishes and roaches actually get over to his natural. So now we see this Reaper. Queen already in position, knows that that Reaper could jump up on this ledge. Doesn't want to have any of that happen. This Marine just denying any scouting whatsoever. Now these Zerglings are going to come in, and the bunker will finish, so they should be fine here. Good raise on that depot, denying all scouting information from Dongray here. And Dongray just trying to get a good sense. What did he actually see by poking up that ramp? It looks like he only saw the one command center, did not see the other. So very good placement on that command center, trying to keep it hidden from Dongray for as long as possible. We actually see a ton of roaches and Zerglings being produced right now. This is going to be huge if he doesn't get enough units to be able to defend this. However, there is going to be a siege tank out, and that should keep him safe. As long as he keeps it on the high ground. He needs to keep this up on the high ground in this general area, and he's going to have to lift this off. There's no way that he's going to hold this natural, but he will lift it off, and generally this tank should be able to keep him safe from this roachling pressure. as well. As soon as siege mode gets done, there's not going to be pretty much anything that he's going to be able to do. If he does get a wall off, it could be pretty nice, but generally I think he's going to be able to break through this here. So here we see all the Zerglings and Roaches coming in. The siege tank just going to keep firing away at all of these. This second siege tank really needs to get back. If that gets picked off, it's going to be huge. And that's actually a really big deal, and Dongre-gu could possibly win this outright. We'll have to see. Pretty nice repair going down on all of this, and it looks like he should be able to keep this alive. But with the second streaming Lings in here, this is pretty big. Looks like he's just going to go for as much economic damage as possible. Knows he can't really break this while the SCVs are out. And, well, it's pretty even right now. Dongre-gu on almost double supply just because of the Roaches and Lings, but if Strelok can actually keep this alive, he really needs to fix this rally point. This is huge if he picks this other tank off. That's what's keeping him alive right now. So back home, he's got Lair almost done. He's got an Evolution Chamber and a Baneling Nest somewhere. So it looks like he'll probably go back into standard Ling Muta, Baneling. And Dongre-gu is just going to try to keep this expansion down for as long as possible. It looks like Strelok wants to take it, but I don't know if this is actually a smart idea for Strelok. He could lose a lot of extra units for nothing. But it looks like Dongre-gu is going to have to be forced to pull back here. And not going to get out with all that much, and now that evened up the supply quite a bit. I would have to say that Strelok held that very, very well, actually. Was a little concerned when he lost that extra siege tank, but all in all, Dongre-gu is down on supply now. He's up on workers by 6, but he has pretty much no units at the moment. So if Strelok just kind of does a straight-up siege tank timing to Dongre-gu, it could be pretty strong. The Spire is almost out, though, so we won't be able to do that timing beforehand. We do see 2 Spine Crawlers coming down, being very defensive, knows that all-in potential from Strelok at this point could be extremely powerful. But you have to also remember that he does have his 3rd command center up already, so that's going to be huge in the longer macro game. So I would not be surprised at all to see Strelok just hanging in here, taking his 3rd base as soon as he gets up enough siege tanks to cover this middle area. That Reaper's still alive, only with 1 kill. And now we see 9 mutas in production, and that's going to be huge. When they pop, we'll have to see how good Dongre-gu is with these mutas. He's known for his muta control. There are 3 turrets in production right now. They should get finished before these mutas actually get over here. At least the one in the mineral line will. And these Marines will force back the mutas momentarily here. Stim is finished on those Marines, so they will be able to fight those off pretty well. And flying into a couple Marines there, but not losing anything too significant. Upgrades, we have one melee already done and 1 carapace on the way. Plus 1 flyer attacks. Here come the mutas again, picking off a couple Marines, but not really going to be able to do all that much damage. Just trying to get as much damage done as possible without losing anything. And this push is what I was talking about. This is going to be extremely scary to deal with for Dongre-gu. I actually don't know if I like this push as super aggressive. To take out a couple creep tumors and then fall back to this 3rd and make sure that it stays up, I think that's a great idea. But at the moment, it's 3 base to 3 base. Dongre-gu is going to be able to build enough units. As we can see, he's just killing off all of those, and now he really needs to fall back so that this muta number doesn't get out of control here. And I really didn't like that sacrifice on that so many Marines there. Really only need to stim up 2 or 3 to be able to pick off these creep tumors. And so now Dongre-gu going to keep trying to be annoying with those mutalisks. The 4th base coming up for Dongre-gu. Baneling speed, plus 1 attack on these Marines, plus 1 armor on the way. The armory is coming up now. And Strelok seems to be in a pretty good spot here. These mutas going to come in again. A lot of turrets in production, but not quite done. There is a handful of Marines here, so as soon as those come over, that should scare away these mutas. But Dongrigu doing pretty good damage there, kicking out a couple SCVs. 60 Harvesters to 81 drones for Dongrigu. So he's in the lead there. And he's finally taking the supply lead, so these mutas just doing so much damage here. And he has to be very careful not to lose any in this position. Looks like he's going to lose two mutas there lost. But not a huge deal. Did kill a lot of SCVs. Down now to 55. If we look, 23 workers killed for Dongrigu during this game. 0 for IEM. I'd really like to see this drop coming in here. I like that idea. I'd like to see one also in the main. And even with a push out, just one little... He needs to really start multitasking a lot in this mid-game. You can't just let the Zerg drone up to as much as they want to. Doing a little bit of damage, but won't end up getting any more kills whatsoever. And needs to be careful with these Marines, just coming in here. Gonna try to pick up a couple creep tumors possibly. Drop did finally get cleaned up. And still fairly even supplies here. But I would like to see more drops. It doesn't even look like we have all that many medevacs on the field. Just one medevac, that's definitely not enough. If Dongrigu actually got up a lot more mutalisks, 19 on the field now, if he started to make these Marines stim more and more, that medevac would not be able to clean up. It looks like that medevac's actually going to get sent out for a drop here. Needs to be careful with these mutas not to engage too many Marines. These Marines are 1-1 and 1-1 on the mutalisks as well. Taking that carapace, knows he's going to be doing a little bit of engaging with those mutalisks. Pretty smart play. We do see the hive coming up now. A couple Thors in production is really going to shut down this muta harass. It looks like that drop already got cleaned up. Didn't really see it land, but it looks like it probably didn't do all that much damage. I really would like to see... Well, hold that thought. We do see a huge Thor volley going down on all of these mutas. A lot of them in the orange. He really needs to be careful with those mutas, losing a ton of them here. Just trying to do any damage he can, but being a little bit sloppy with those mutalisks. Now, I really want to see... Oh, it looks like that drop was just positioned down in the bottom of the map. And see, these overlords are in good positions where he already is reacting to this. He really needs to do more than just one thing. Like, this push-out is very good when this drop's going to be coming in. But I'd also like to see a drop up at the top as well. So we see a big flank coming in, possibly a counterattack. And here comes all the Zerglings and mutas trying to fly into these Marines. I don't think there's going to be enough here, though. And that was very sloppy by Dongrigu, losing a lot of Zerglings for nothing. Good thing Zerglings are practically free. We do see 40 Zerglings back in production, 22 Banelings being morphed, and a couple Infestors out as well, so that's really going to help during this next engagement. And it looks like going to deny this base, and really needs to start sieging up here. The creep is very close. And big fungal going down, all of the Zerglings and Banelings coming and hitting all of the Marines. But with these Thors here, it should shut down the mutas somewhat effectively. But I really don't know if he should be still out on this map. Looks like he's going to try to push into the third base of Dongrigu, but if Dongrigu gets up enough lings and starts to take out these Marines, a nice magic box on these Thors could just kill off this entire army. There's really not a lot of anti-air here. A very nice positioning, however, for IEM. Dongrigu coming in here, kind of sloppily coming in, but it looks like these mutas are going to take out the Thor, and it looks like he will be able to clean this up now, but losing just so much in the process. Dongrigu's supply down to 100 now, and a huge reinforcement of Marines coming in. Dongrigu did lose that hash rate at his third, and I don't think there's going to be enough to actually engage these Marines now. He really needs to be getting up a lot more before he engages this force. Going to be able to take out this fourth base as well, and Dongrigu is going to be down to one mining base here in just a moment. Also, IEM taking his fourth base, and it looks like this is going to be GG momentarily for Dongrigu. I don't see any position that he's going to be able to come back into this game. Nice micro on those Marines, and GG coming out for Dongre Gu. IEMstrelok actually taking game 1 in this series. We're going to jump into game number 2, so check that out. And if you want to watch any more of my videos, you can go to blip.tv/FrenzyStarcraft. And yeah, thanks for watching.